Here's a buzzer.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing you do is always take the, when you're doing an engine check, always take the key, okay?
Yeah.
We're also going to block the vehicle. Vehicle's blocked. Okay. Right now we're going to do an engine check, okay?
Yep.
The best way to do it is start from the top, okay? Again, I'm checking all my wires, make sure they're not frayed or broken. Checking the overall appearance of my vehicle. Make sure there's no excess of my engine and no excess oil or grease. Here's my engine oil filler right there. This is my power steering fluid reservoir. Checking all my hoses to make sure none are broken or cracked. Checking my steering column. Everything's here, nothing's missing. Everything's intact, all the hardware's intact. Checking all my hoses. Checking my power steering box. It's all intact. None of the hardware's missing. No leakage out of it. This is my pitman arm. It's connected, it's not broken. Connected to my drag link, which isn't bent or cracked. It's secure to my steering knuckle, which is secure. Nothing's broken. Checking the bracket of my leaf spring. All the hardware's there. Nothing's missing. Again, checking my leaf springs themselves. None are broken, none are missing. The U-bolts look good. None are missing. Checking my my shock absorber, secure. No excess oil or grease coming in my my shock absorber, sorry. Again, checking my bracket in the back, make sure it's not loose, doesn't look loose, it looks tight. Checking my tie rod. Right down here. It doesn't look bent or broken, it looks connected, all the hardware's there. Again, checking all my hoses. Checking my brake cylinder, looks good, secure. My slack adjuster's right here. Checking the inside of my tire for any bubbles or cracks. Also checking my brake inside my tire to make sure no excess grease coming out of my brakes. Checking my belts. No more than 3/4 inch play. Make sure they're secure, not frayed or broken. Checking my water pumps right in here. Again, checking all my hoses. They all look good. My windshield washer reserve right here. And we'll do it for the left side of the truck. Again, we're on the right side of the truck for an engine check. Checking all my my air filters, they all look good, they all look secure. Up here is my radiator cap for a fill. Checking all my hoses, they all look good. All my wiring looks good, doesn't look frayed or broken. The general appearance of my engine looks good. Here is my engine oil and my transmission oil. To check it, pull it out, wipe it, put it back in. Checking all my hoses, they all look good. Again, checking my belts for any frays, broken belts. Also, again, checking the 3/4 inch play on the belts. Here is my compressor right here, my governor right here. They're all secure. All my connections to them are secure. None of the hoses are broken or cracked. Way in the back here, right back here is my alternator. Okay, it looks secure when I can see of it. Again, also checking my electrical connection in the back it seems secure of what I can feel. Okay, checking my fan belt, nothing's missing. They all looks good. Again, checking the overall appearance of all my hoses. They all look good. All my electrical connections are good. Coming down here, I'm checking my shock. My shock absorber. Again, checking my bracket for my shock absorber. All my shock absorbers look good. None of them look broken or cracked. They're all there. Again, checking my shock absorber. Secure. No excess grease or oil coming out of my shock absorber. Checking my bracket again on my leaf springs. It looks good. What I can see. Again, down here checking my tie rod. Right here. It doesn't look bent or cracked. It looks connected. It looks good. My brakes, my air hoses going to my brakes look good. Again, checking my slack adjuster, which is right here. It looks good. All the components are there. Checking the inside of my tire for any bubbles, cracks. Looks good. Again, checking the inside of my tire for any excess grease coming out of the brake system.
Well, Tom, how do you check the slack adjuster if he wants
You
to
check the slack adjuster, level ground. You chalk your wheels. Go in and push the emergency brake on. Come back. Pull on the back of the slack adjuster right here. This is your slack adjuster right here. You pull on that. If you pull more than an inch, it needs to be adjusted.
Okay.
And basically, that's the engine check.
Excellent.
You tell me.
Go ahead.
Checking underneath my truck for any excess oil from the truck. Checking the top of my cab of my truck for any excess. Make sure none of my marker lights are broken. Everything looks good. My windshield looks good. We get a valid sticker on my windshield. Checking all my marker lights, my blinkers, my headlights, they look good. My fender's good. The overall appearance of my front of my truck, my grill looks good, looks secure. Again, my headlight is not cracked or broken, either is my blinker. It's all set. Checking my tire, checking the outside of my tire for any bubbles or cracks. 30 seconds of tread on the front tires. Checking on my lugs, making sure they're all secure. They're all good. No dents or cracks in my rim. My valve stem is good. My grease fitting is not leaking. It looks full. Checking the inflation on my tire. It seems good. Checking my mirrors. Make sure they're not broken or cracked. They're secure. My door is secure. Checking my fuel tank cap. Checking the wiring for my fuel cap. Everything looks good. Looks secure. Checking my fuel tank. It's secure. Checking the brackets of my fuel tank. They're not rusted or broken. They're good. Again, checking the overall appearance of my truck. You want to go underneath? The overall appearance of my. You want to go underneath?
No, I'm pretty good with that.
Okay, the overall appearance of my truck looks good. Again, I'm checking my tires. 230 seconds of tread on your back tires. Again, checking the outside of my tires for any bubbles or cracks. Checking my rim, no dents. Checking all my lug nuts. They look good. All my nut looks good. Checking my valve stem. Valve stem right here, it looks good. Checking my mud flap. It looks good. Also, on your tires, your dual tires, you want to check inside to make sure the tires aren't touching and there's nothing caught inside the two tires. Checking the appearance of my truck, it looks good. My lights, all my lights look good. My brake lights look good. My license plate is good. All my back of my fender looks good. All that looks good. My step is secure. My handles are secure. Again, the general appearance of my truck looks good. Again, checking the tire, outside of my tire for any bubbles or cracks. Checking my rim for anything broken. or split. Checking all my lug nuts. They look good. Checking my air valve stem is right here. Again, checking the inflation of my tires. It looks good. Again, don't forget to check inside your tires for dual tires for anything nothing conning between the tires and the tires aren't touching. Again, checking my handles, my door, checking my mirrors to make sure none are broken or cracked. They look good, they're secure. Checking my steps, they're secure. Again, it's my battery box. I want to check my battery box. I check to make sure that there's no corrosion on the cables. My battery's not leaking any acid. Again, checking the condition on my truck. It looks good. Again, my tires. Checking the outside, bubbles, cracks, lug nuts. Make sure they're tight. My grease fitting, not leaking. My valve stem right there. And proper inflation of the truck.